Have you ever noticed? Every morning when you wake up and every night when you lay your head on the pillow, you whisper something to yourself. Those whispers, those words, give birth to a thought. That thought triggers a behavior. Behaviors form habits, and habits build your destiny. Then we say, "This is my fate," and blame it on destiny. But the truth is, we don't live a pre-written fate. We live the consequences of the thoughts we repeat every day. Your destiny isn't written in the stars. It's the whispers you tell yourself and believe in. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm unlucky," your mind will blind you to every opportunity that comes your way to prove it. If your inner voice keeps repeating, "I'm poor," your mind programs you to make decisions that keep you trapped in that cycle of scarcity. If you whisper to yourself, "I'm worthless," you'll spend your entire life sacrificing your worth to the approval and whims of others. As you can see, what ruins or elevates your life isn't external circumstances. It's those silent inner conversations. That tired, critical voice in your mind writes your destiny with your permission. But today, you can take that power away from it. Today, I invite you to stop repeating the same sentences that drag you down and start developing a new language within yourself. One that empowers you, reminds you of your worth, and gives you control over your life. You don't need years for this. Just 2 days of clear determination are enough to reverse the trajectory of your mind. The real question is, do you have the courage to try? Before we begin this journey, I ask you to do something powerful. Go to the comments section and write this sentence with your own hands. "Every word I say to myself today will be my greatest strength." Don't write it just as a comment, but as a promise to yourself, a seed that begins to reprogram your subconscious and sets you on the path to victory. If you're ready to change, let's start now. 1. Reprogram your brain with positive inner dialogue. Did you know that the reason you feel stuck isn't always what's happening outside, but what you quietly tell yourself? Your inner dialogue is the voice that accompanies you all day long. Sometimes it criticizes, judges, or reminds you of past mistakes. And the most powerful thing is that this voice can be your greatest enemy or your best ally. For a moment, imagine that for just 2 full days you replace that voice with sentences that lift you up instead of dragging you down. What happens in your brain is so remarkable you can't even imagine it. You start forming new neural connections that make you act with more confidence, clarity, and energy. Your brain processes over 60,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of them are repetitive. If you thought you weren't enough yesterday, you'll likely think the same today. If you told yourself you're unlucky yesterday, your brain will bring it up again and again. It's like a background app that runs endlessly, programmed to repeat the same thing unquestioningly. But here's a truth few people tell you. Your brain doesn't distinguish between what's real and what you vividly imagine. If you repeat with emotion, "I am capable," "I am worthy," "I am successful," your mind starts acting as if it's already true. This isn't magic, it's neuroscience. Think about this. When someone criticized you harshly in the past, how many times did you replay that sentence in your head? Maybe you felt it over and over until you believed it. That's mental programming, just the negative kind. What if you used that mechanism in your favor? Instead of reliving criticism, if you vividly repeated affirmations that empower you, your brain would quietly start guiding you toward that new version of yourself. It doesn't matter if you don't fully believe it at first. What matters is repeating it with emotion, because that's what trains your mind. I invite you to do a simple test. Tomorrow morning, stand in front of a mirror for just 5 minutes and say to yourself, "I am a successful person who creates opportunities. I have the ability to transform my life. Every day I get closer to my goals." Your voice might tremble at first. You might feel strange or even uncomfortable, but keep going. Persist because your brain listens and obeys. That discomfort is a sign you're stepping outside the automatic programming you've repeated for years. Throughout the day, observe your thoughts. Maybe you're working and that voice creeps in. "I'm sure I'll mess this up as always." Right at that moment, stop the cycle. Take a breath and change it to, I'm learning. Every attempt makes me better. Or maybe you think, I'm not good enough to achieve this. Replace it with, I have the capacity to grow and surprise myself with what I achieve. Every time you do this, you're rewriting your mind's software. And before you go to bed, when your brain is more relaxed and receptive, repeat your affirmations again. But don't just say them as empty words. Feel them. Imagine the excitement of achieving what you want. Visualize living as that version of yourself. Your subconscious will take those images and work on them while you sleep. Now, imagine what your life would be like if, instead of burdening yourself with thoughts of doubt and fear, you accompanied yourself with thoughts of strength and confidence. In just 2 days, yes, just 2 days, you'll notice a shift in your energy. You'll feel lighter, clearer, and filled with a strange sense of possibility. It's not that everything outside suddenly changes, it's that the inner you changes, and when you change inside, everything else starts falling into place. Great leaders, athletes, and entrepreneurs practice this consistently. They don't wait to feel motivated to speak well to themselves. They speak to themselves to create motivation. And you can do the same, no matter where you are or what your circumstances are. Because your power lies not in what happened yesterday or what you fear for tomorrow, but in how you talk to yourself today. According to Stoicism, we can't control what happens outside, but we can control our inner judgments. Epictetus said it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Your inner dialogue is exactly that ongoing opinion about yourself and your life. Changing it is an act of freedom. It's taking back your power. So don't wait for someone to give you confidence, for conditions to be perfect, or for a miracle to happen. The miracle starts within you, in your inner words. Talking to yourself with love, determination, and vision is the training you need to reprogram your mind. Start today, keep it up for 2 days, and when you feel the first shift, keep going. Make this inner dialogue your greatest ally, and you'll see how doors that once seemed closed begin to open. This is your moment. Your inner voice is already speaking right now. The question is, what will it say? Do? Harness the power of the word, yet. How many times have you heard yourself say, I can't do this? Maybe it was a new job, a tough project, an exam, or even a difficult conversation. When you say it with such finality, you close all doors. You put a mental lock on yourself and your brain accepts it as truth. But I want to show you a small tweak that changes everything, adding the word, yet. This simple word is like a key that opens the door to new possibilities. When you say, I can't do this yet, your mind understands you're on a journey, that it's not the end, and that what seems impossible today could be achievable tomorrow. Imagine you're trying to learn an instrument. You pick up a guitar and your fingers don't obey you. The sound is clumsy and messy. If you say, I'm no good at this, your brain registers it as a final verdict and shuts down interest. But if you change it to, I can't do this yet, do you feel the difference? Your mind opens to the idea that it's a matter of practice, time, and patience. This yet puts you on the path to learning instead of sinking into stagnation. The same applies to exercise. Maybe you climb a flight of stairs and get winded quickly. If you say, I have no stamina, you accept it, and your body aligns with that label. But if you affirm, I don't have stamina yet, your mind sparks a glimmer of hope and prepares to improve with every workout. This yet makes your body and mind work together for change instead of giving up. It's like when you were a child learning to walk. No baby ever said, I can't walk, and gave up. The situation was simply, I can't walk yet. And that difference is what kept them getting up until they succeeded. The funny thing is, as adults, we forget this mindset and treat ourselves with a harshness we'd never impose on a child. Whenever you think, I'm bad at public speaking, add yet and change it to, I can't speak confidently in public yet. This trains your mind to see the process, not defeat. Or if you think, I don't know how to manage my emotions, add yet, and turn it into a reminder that you're learning to do better every day. This small habit completely shifts the tone of your inner dialogue and determines how you act. Imagine your brain as fertile soil. When you use limiting phrases, you plant seeds of doubt that grow into trees blocking your path. But when you say yet, you plant seeds of hope and growth that slowly turn into strength to carry you forward. This is a quiet but incredibly powerful reprogramming. You can apply it in your daily life right now. You're learning a language and think, I don't understand anything. Stop, breathe, and say, I don't understand yet. You're trying to improve your finances and your mind says, I'll never get out of this. Change it to, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm learning how to manage my money. Even in relationships, when you think, I don't know how to communicate well, add yet, and watch how your brain starts searching for ways to improve. At first, it might feel like a word game, but as you repeat it, your mind responds differently. What was once frustration becomes motivation. What was once a wall becomes a path. Because yet turns failure into progress and stagnation into movement. And the best part? You feel the results quickly. Within a few days, your energy shifts. You realize you're not failing, you're learning, you're not stuck, you're on a journey. And that mindset gives you the confidence to keep trying until you succeed. According to Stoicism, what matters isn't having everything now, but your willingness to keep growing. The Stoics taught that every day is an opportunity to train the mind and cultivate virtue, and this idea is perfectly reflected in the word yet. It's about accepting that you don't have it all today, but have the will to keep moving forward. So the next time your mind says, I can't, pause, take a deep breath, and add the ending, I can't yet. This word reminds you that your story doesn't end there, that you're on a path, and the future is open to your efforts. Make this habit your new way of talking to yourself, and watch how your confidence, abilities, and entire life begin to transform. Your power is in your words, and your words create your reality. Remember, you can't do it yet. Use morning rituals to program your day. Every morning when you open your eyes, your mind is a blank slate, like a new page waiting to be written. What you put into those first few minutes has the power to shape your entire day. Maybe you've never thought about it this way, but the first 20 minutes after waking up are like a key that determines whether your day will be filled with clarity or dragged down by the inertia of automatic negative thoughts. In that moment, your brain is in an almost hypnotic, receptive state. Every word, every emotion, and every image sinks in much deeper than at other times of the day. Imagine waking up, and the first thing you do is reach for your phone. You see the news, pending messages, or social media comparisons. Before you even get out of bed, you've filled your mind with worry, comparison, and noise. How do you think your day will go if you start like this? Probably with a sense of heaviness, automatic reactions, and no control over your energy. But if you create an intentional morning ritual, it's like programming your operating system to work at its best. I suggest you try something simple. As soon as you open your eyes before getting up, place your hand on your heart and take 3 deep breaths. Don't do it mechanically. Feel the air entering, your chest expanding, and your body slowly waking up. This act connects your mind to your body, brings you back to the present, and pulls you away from rush and distraction. It's like telling your brain, I'm here, I'm in control, I'm ready to start anew. After these breaths, quietly say affirmations that energize your day. You can repeat, today my new life begins. I am full of possibilities. I deserve the goodness waiting for me. These aren't empty, magical words. This activates a language that programs your mind to seek opportunities and face challenges with confidence. Remember, your brain doesn't distinguish between what's real and what you vividly imagine. By repeating these sentences as if they're already true, your mind starts aligning with that new reality. Think about the difference between waking up and saying, same old, versus waking up and affirming, today is an opportunity to move forward. The first shuts down your energy, the second opens it up, and you decide which key to turn. Another crucial part is protecting those first 20 minutes from external distractions. If the first thing you do is check your phone, you're giving your most valuable moment to the outside world. But if you dedicate that time to yourself, to affirmations, breathing, gratitude, or simply conscious silence, you send a clear message to your mind. My life doesn't depend on what's out there. It starts from within. Imagine you have an important meeting, an exam, or just a regular day at work. If you arrive with a mind full of noise, it's easy to get stressed and react without clarity. But if you've started the day with an intentional ritual, you arrive with a different energy. Maybe you're thinking, I don't have time for this. Let me tell you, you don't need an hour-long meditation or a complex routine. If done with intention, just 20 minutes, or even less, is enough. The difference lies in consistency. The first day, talking to yourself in front of a mirror, or breathing with your hand on your heart might feel strange. But with practice, your body and mind start expecting that moment as natural, and before you know it, you're starting every day calmer, clearer, and more confident in what you can achieve. According to Stoicism, the start of each day is an opportunity to train the mind. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote about preparing himself every morning, reminding himself that he'd face challenges but had the power to choose how to respond. Your morning ritual does exactly that. It reminds you that you can't control everything that happens, but you can control how you start. By practicing this habit, you'll notice your days feel different. Instead of waking up tired and drained, you'll feel a sense of purpose. Instead of reacting to external chaos, you'll act from inner calm. And instead of letting your mind repeat the same old stories, you'll write a new page every morning with the power of your intention. So tomorrow, when you open your eyes, don't rush to check messages or let automatic thoughts take over. Breathe, connect, affirm, and protect those first 20 minutes. This small ritual isn't a waste of time. It's the most powerful investment you can make in yourself. 4. Reinforce changes. During your brain's high-receptivity windows, your mind isn't always the same. There are moments in the day when it's more open, more receptive, and more willing to accept new ideas. These are like small windows that open, and if you take advantage of them, you can plant thoughts that sink deep into the core of your brain, becoming much more impactful. Imagine standing in front of a fertile field with a window that opens only a few times a day. If you plant seeds during those moments, they grow stronger. If you miss them, it's like scattering seeds on rock. Nothing grows. The first receptivity window is right after you wake up. This is when your brain is still transitioning between sleep and wakefulness with slower brain waves, absorbing thoughts without much filtering in a trance-like state. If you connect with yourself, take a deep breath and say affirmations like, "Today, my new life begins," or "I am full of possibilities." Those words sink deeper and set the tone for your day. Think about the difference between waking up and repeating the same old things versus starting with the feeling of, "I'm creating something new." What you plant in those moments shapes the energy for everything that follows. The second window opens between 2 and 4 p.m. Many people feel tired, low energy, or sluggish during these hours. But if you know how to use this time, it's a perfect opportunity. Your brain enters a natural pause, more open to resetting. Go for a walk, move slowly, swing your arms with intention, and repeat your affirmations. Say something simple like, "I'm learning. Every step brings me closer to my goals. I haven't succeeded yet, but I'm on the way." Your moving body anchors those words. They don't just stay in your mind. They sink into your body, becoming a physical reality. Instead of fighting fatigue, use it to reinforce who you want to be, and imagine how your afternoon transforms. The third window opens between 7 and 9 p.m. This is when your brain slows down, releases the day's tension, and prepares for rest. Here you have a chance to program your mind before sleep. Sit quietly, breathe, and reflect on what you achieved during the day, even the smallest things, combining it with gratitude-filled affirmations. Repeating something simple like, "I'm grateful for what I accomplished today. I'm at peace with my process. My mind and life get better every day." Your subconscious takes these sentences and works on them while you sleep, strengthening the connections you need most. Now think about your routine. Maybe you wake up abruptly, rush to your phone, dive into traffic, and already feel drained. Maybe in the afternoon, all you think about is coffee, sugar, or distractions. And at night, you fall asleep glued to a screen, filling your mind with noise and comparisons. If your most valuable windows are wasted on autopilot, how can you expect change? It's not your fault. Nobody teaches us this. But now you know, and you can choose. Imagine what would happen if you used these 3 windows for just 2 days. You wake up and program your mind with words that ignite your confidence. Use your afternoon break to reinforce your progress instead of dragging yourself through it. And go to bed with gratitude instead of worry. By repeating this, your brain starts forming new connections, new neural pathways, and new ways of interpreting your life. The best part? You don't need hours, just intentional minutes at the right times. The Stoics understood the importance of natural rhythms. Marcus Aurelius reviewed his thoughts every morning to prepare for the day and evaluated what he did well and what he could improve at night. This was his way of using these receptivity windows to align his mind with virtue and discipline. You can do the same today with the tools you have. Your life doesn't change with a giant leap. It changes with small decisions repeated at the right times. It changes when you choose to plant new thoughts in those windows, when your mind is most open. It changes when you talk to yourself with patience in the afternoon, give thanks in the evening's darkness, and choose to start your day with intention instead of noise. Don't underestimate the power of these moments. Every time you use one of these windows, you're building a new version of yourself. 5. Use physical movement to anchor affirmations. Think about how many times you've repeated positive sentences in your mind, but after a while, they seem to fade away as if they had no effect. This often happens because we limit change to words alone. In reality, your body needs to be part of the process. Your nervous system learns not just from what you say, but also from what you do and how you move. Here's the key. When you combine affirmations with physical movement, those words stop being mere ideas and become a full experience that your brain and body remember as real. Imagine sitting with slumped shoulders and your head down, repeating, "I am strong and capable." What does your body feel? Doubt, insecurity, low energy. Now picture a different scene. You stand up. You walk with firm steps. You open your chest. You move your arms with determination and say, "I am strong and capable." The difference is monumental. In the second scenario, you're not just saying it, you're embodying it. And your brain learns much faster when your body backs it up. Movement is a silent language your mind understands perfectly. When you walk upright and purposefully, your posture sends confidence signals to your brain. When you move your arms energetically, you tell your nervous system you're in motion, you're moving forward. That's why combining affirmations and movement multiplies their power. The words become a lived reality. Think of a time you felt truly motivated, maybe after good news, achieving something difficult, or coming out on top in a tough situation. What was your body like in that moment? Surely it was upright, with broad gestures, eyes full of energy, not shrunken or weak. The fascinating thing is, even if you don't feel the emotion first, you can choose to move your body that way and recreate that feeling whenever you want. I suggest trying this during the 2 to 4 p.m. window when your mind is most open to reprogramming. Even for just a few minutes, go for a walk. But do it with firm steps, each one marking your commitment to yourself. As you walk, repeat, "I am strong and capable. I have everything I need to move forward. Every step brings me closer to my best version." Don't just say it, feel it. Let each word resonate with the strength of your moving body. If you want to intensify it, move your arms too. Not exaggeratedly, but with determination, as if underlining your words with a gesture. You'll notice how your energy shifts. The fatigue or doubt you felt turns into something different, stronger, more confident. Because your body becomes an ally to your mind, you don't need more than 5 minutes to feel the difference. If done with intention, those minutes can reprogram your entire afternoon. Instead of feeling drained, you'll feel like you flipped an inner switch, finishing the day with a sense of empowerment. The key is repetition. It might feel strange or forced at first, but with each practice, your brain starts recognizing it as natural. There comes a moment when you don't need to try so hard anymore. Your body remembers, your mind aligns, and the affirmations flow with a greater sense of truth. The Stoics spoke of acting in alignment with your thoughts. They said having good ideas wasn't enough. You had to live them. Embodying them, combining movement with affirmations, is exactly that. It's moving from theory to experience. Think of it this way. Every time you walk with intention and affirm who you are and where you're going, you're not just saying it. You're training it in your nervous system. Your mind starts believing it faster. Your body reflects it, and slowly, it becomes your identity. It's no longer a repeated sentence, it's a lived reality. So the next time you want to boost your confidence, don't do it sitting silently. Stand up. Walk with firm steps. Move your arms. Repeat your affirmations. Let your body and mind align in the same direction, and you'll feel something shift within you in just a few minutes. Fatigue dissipates, insecurity loses its grip, and what remains is a clear sense of strength and determination. Make this exercise a habit, even for just 5 minutes a day, because every step, every word, every gesture contributes to building the person you're meant to become. 6. Embrace resistance as a sign of change. Changing your mindset isn't always easy. Maybe you've tried it. You stood in front of the mirror, said a positive affirmation, and instantly that inner voice whispered, "That's not true. This sounds ridiculous. I don't believe this." And then you felt discomfort or even frustration. But I need you to understand something. This resistance doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. On the contrary, it's proof you're on the right one. That discomfort is a clear sign you're breaking the old patterns you've carried for years. Your mind is used to repeating familiar thoughts, even if they're limiting or painful, because they're familiar. And your brain loves the familiar. It gives a sense of safety. That's why when you start introducing new sentences like, "I am capable, I deserve the best, I can achieve this," your mind initially rejects them. Not because they're impossible, but because it's defending the old ways. It's like what happens to a muscle when you exercise. It hurts, it resists, but that pain is exactly what shows it's growing. Imagine you've spent your whole life repeating, "I'm not enough." That sentence has carved a deep neural pathway, like a groove in the ground. Every time you think about yourself, your mind automatically follows that groove. Now you're trying to say, "Yes, I am enough," and your brain tries to pull back to the old path. The resistance you feel is the effort of stepping out of that groove and creating a new one. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also proof that a new path is being forged. The next time you feel that discomfort, instead of giving up, tell yourself, "This discomfort is a sign of my growth." Make that sentence your shield, because what feels strange today will feel normal tomorrow, and what's normal tomorrow will soon feel natural. It's a process, and every step matters. Here's an example. Imagine you decide to start running. The first day, you barely manage a few meters before you're out of breath. Your body protests, it hurts, it resists. If you interpret that pain as a sign your body is useless, you'll give up. But if you see it as a sign your muscles are waking up, you keep going. And over time, you find you can run faster and farther. The same applies to your mind. It resists at first, but with persistence, it grows stronger. Even the smallest changes are proof of your progress. Maybe today you repeat your affirmations and feel like nothing's changed, but tomorrow you notice you respond to a problem with a bit more calm or feel more energized starting the day. These details, even if you don't notice them right away, are proof your mind is absorbing the new language. Notice them, celebrate them. They're the fuel that keeps you going. Persistence is the key. Even if it feels fake, even if you don't fully feel it yet, repeat your affirmations with emotion. It doesn't matter if your voice trembles or your mind tries to sabotage you. Every repetition weakens the old pattern and strengthens the new one. And if you stay consistent, there will come a day when the sentences no longer feel forced. They feel natural. That's the day your mind realizes your new identity has taken root. The Stoics talked about training the mind like the body. They didn't expect instant results. They knew daily discipline builds character. Marcus Aurelius wrote to remind himself of what he wanted to believe, and how he wanted to live, even if he didn't fully feel it in the moment. He did it because he understood that consistent practice overcomes resistance. So don't run from discomfort. See it not as an enemy, but as an ally. Every time you feel your mind resisting, smile and remember, this means I'm making progress. Because if there were no resistance, it would mean you're still doing the same old thing, and you're here because you've already decided to change. Give your brain time to adjust. Stay consistent with your affirmations so they become new, solid pathways. Be patient with your process so the fruits can emerge. And when the days come when you find yourself thinking differently with ease, you'll look back and remember that it all started with that discomfort you once feared, but now appreciate. 7. Use the identity, capability, and destiny formula. When you want to change your life from within, repeating random sentences isn't enough. You need to give structure to your inner dialogue. That's where a simple yet powerful formula comes in: identity, capability, and destiny. Combined, these three pieces transform how you perceive yourself and, consequently, how you act. Because how you talk to yourself determines what you believe about yourself, what you think you're capable of, and what you expect from your future. Think about it. You often repeat sentences like, "I want to be successful," or "I want to change." They sound nice, but they're not powerful enough to move your subconscious. Why? Because they're vague. They lack roots. But when you define who you are, what you can do, and where you're going, your mind gets a complete map. This isn't just a desire anymore. It's identity, capability, and destiny working together to propel you forward. For example, start your morning with something like this: I am a person who adds value. That's identity. You're declaring who you are, not who you want to be, and your brain registers it as a present truth. Then add, I have the ability to overcome any challenge. That's capability. You're reminding your mind that you have the strength to face whatever comes your way. Finally, every day I'm getting closer to my ideal life. That's destiny. You're programming your subconscious to see the future not as a distant dream, but as a path under construction. Imagine how your day changes if you start with these sentences. Instead of waking up with automatic thoughts of fatigue or worry, you begin with a declaration of strength. Your identity grounds you. Your capability gives you confidence, and your destiny gives you direction. It's like starting 3 engines at once to push your life in the direction you want. Now think of a significant moment in your day, a big meeting, an interview, a tough conversation, or a decision you know is a turning point. If you go into it with fear or doubt-filled thoughts, your mind will sabotage you. But if you repeat these 3 affirmations beforehand, your energy shifts. You're no longer someone asking for permission. You're someone who says, I am a person who adds value. I have the ability to handle this. Every word I say brings me closer to my ideal life. You don't just feel the impact, others sense it too. At the end of the day, when your mind is calmer and more receptive, reinforce this process by writing your affirmations. Thinking them isn't enough. Writing them gives them extra weight, as if you're recording them on both paper and your subconscious. Review them, read them aloud, and notice how they sound different after living your day. Sometimes you'll feel you've achieved what you declared. Other times you'll feel you're still on the journey, and that's okay. What matters is you're training your mind to align with this formula. Think of someone you admire, someone who's achieved great things, whether a leader, athlete, artist, or entrepreneur. None of them got there by accident. They all had a clear identity, confidence in their capabilities, and a destined goal. They may not have used this formula in these exact words, but they lived its essence. You can do the same. Start talking to yourself so clearly and powerfully that your mind has no choice but to act accordingly. The Stoics understood this in their own way. They said, first decide who you want to be, then do what's necessary to make it happen. Epictetus taught that we are not what we say we want, but what we practice every day. And Marcus Aurelius wrote daily reminders reflecting his identity, capability, and purpose to stay resilient in the face of challenges. You can adapt the same discipline to your own language and life. Maybe today, Looking in the mirror and saying firmly, "I am a person who adds value," feels hard. Your mind might interrupt with old sentences like, "I'm not enough," or "I don't know if I'll succeed." That resistance is normal, but if you persist, those sentences will slowly feel more natural. There will come a time when you don't need to force them. They'll become your way of thinking. Remember this: your inner dialogue is the foundation of your destiny. If you want to transform it, start by applying this formula every day. Affirm your identity. Remind yourself of your capability and visualize your destiny. Do it in the mornings to energize yourself, before key moments to stay focused, and at night to solidify your path. Because in the end, it's not about waiting for life to tell you who you are, what you're capable of, or where you're going. It's about declaring it yourself, believing it, and living it. Your identity, capability, and destiny are already within you. You just need to remind yourself of them every day until they become your lived reality. 38. Neutralize limiting thoughts with the instant replacement technique. Every thought you repeat in your mind is like a direct instruction to your subconscious. If you say, "I can't do this," your brain obeys. If you think, "This is too hard," your body prepares to give up. You may not realize it, but that quiet inner voice, no matter how small it seems, has the power to decide how you act in your daily life. This is where a practical and transformative tool comes in: instant replacement. This is a simple but powerful technique that involves catching limiting thoughts the moment they appear and replacing them with affirmations that empower and propel you forward. Imagine you're going to a job interview, and right before you walk in, you think, "I'm probably not good enough for this position." That thought is like an order. It lowers your energy, changes your body language, and makes you less convincing. But if you instantly replace it with, "I have the resources and experience to add value here," your posture changes, your voice sounds stronger, and your mind starts searching for ways to support that statement. What you say inside conditions what you project outside. The power lies in not letting those negative thoughts pass as if they were absolute truths, because every time you repeat one, you reinforce it, like someone walking the same path over and over until it becomes a trail. The instant replacement technique interrupts that process. It's like putting up a road-closed sign and forcing your mind to create a new, more positive path aligned with what you want to achieve. Try it with something every day. You're faced with a complex task and think, "This is too hard." Stop and replace it with, "This is an opportunity to grow." It's not just a word change, it's a mental redirect. You go from feeling like a victim of the challenge to feeling like a student of it. Or if you catch yourself saying, "I always mess things up," replace it with, "Every mistake brings me closer to doing better." By repeating this, your brain starts registering the new sentences as the main path. Keep in mind that at first, this might feel forced. Your mind used to negativity will resist, but that doesn't mean it's not working. It means you're breaking a pattern. If you apply this consistently for 2 days, at least 5 times a day, you'll start noticing changes. Suddenly, you'll face a situation that used to fill you with anxiety with more calm, and what once seemed impossible will feel like a challenge you can overcome. Here's a clear example. Imagine someone studying for an exam. Their mind says, "I'll never understand this." Right then, they apply the instant replacement technique. "I don't understand it yet, but I'm learning more every day." This sentence gives the brain permission to seek solutions instead of staying stuck. Or in a relationship, if you think, "No one understands me," replace it with, "I have the ability to communicate better and connect with others." Slowly, your energy shifts, and the people around you respond differently. Keeping a mental or written record of the thoughts you replace is a great reinforcement method. Each time you do it, note it down, what you thought and how you changed it. Reviewing that list at the end of the day shows you proof of your progress. The Stoics spoke of the same principle, albeit in different words. They said it's not the events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. That judgment is exactly your thought. By replacing a negative judgment with a constructive one, You don't change the external reality, but you change how you experience it. And that's enough to transform your experience. So the next time your mind tries to stop you with an "I can't," smile, take a breath, and say, "Yes, I can. I have the resources to do this." With that response, you don't just neutralize the negativity, you create a new path toward the life you want. Thank you for watching.